Hello and welcome to Work Hate. I am Bron Lewis and this is my co-host Brady Blake. If you have ever had a job, chances are you have had either a psychotic boss, pretty bad work conditions, or a really insufferable workmate.
But what? Oh, fuck! You're pointing at me now.
Sorry.
Okay, all right. Yeah,
if you've never had any of those, chances are it's you.
It's fucking you. Yeah. Guys, today we are joined with podcaster, co-host of The 100, and below average tennis player, Mike Goldstein. I thought I'd hit you with one at the top.
Come out swinging. Actually, I find it more insulting to be called a podcaster.
Yeah.
You know, dude, like that. Let's be honest. This is the bottom of the barrel.
No one has ever put...
Not this pod specifically, but come on. Every dipshit has a podcast.
If you're going to turn on... We're a video podcast. We're a little bit... We're different. We're bombing in 4K. That's the difference. We're failing with expensive gear.
Yeah. This is impressive. And like I said, I think I'm going to go down the barrel the whole time.
Do whatever you want.
I just had a haircut, and the little assistant said I look like a cop. And now
How do you feel about that?
Well, like a Jewish cop, right? Yeah.
The mustache you do look... Is it constable care? You've got that. You wouldn't have... You
I don't know what
that
that is.
We always had constable care growing up, and he had this big pedo mustache.
Yeah.
And
was it a human or was it like a...
It was a human. Do you not
You don't
have
know it
constable
either.
care?
No. We
So
always
maybe
had I think it was like a koala.
We had the safety house, the yellow safety house.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But then they stopped doing that in our suburbs because all the
Pedophiles were using
pedos
it.
would have fake ones.
Yeah.
And that's how they got a few people.
It's pretty clever.
R.I.P. Steve. No, I don't know if that's happened. But and then we had Constable Care, who was like this rugged dude with a big mustache.
But his name was Care, so he was a badass named Care.
Yeah.
All right.
Mr. Care.
Mr. Care.
Constable Care.
Constable.
Or was it Constable? Is his last name?
Care.
Care.
Yeah. Officer
Yeah,
Care.
Officer Care.
And you had a koala? Did he have a
I think we
pedo
had
mustache as well?
Well, that's why I was like, wow, your koala had a mustache?
Yeah.
And then I did not listen to a word you've said since because I was just imagining a koala with a mustache.
The Constable Care, a kid at our school later became a police officer.
Yeah.
And it's still one of my favourite moments in the world because his last name was Gobby. So he was
Nice.
Sergeant Gobby.
Nice.
And then he had to change his name,
Yeah.
obviously, within
Nice.
2 weeks.
Obviously.
Gobby is
Constable
great.
Gobby or Sergeant Gobby.
What did he change it to? What's his address?
I don't want to... Oh, actually, I will because he just changed it to one of the characters from The Matrix.
He should have kept Gobby.
Yeah. It was like not Neo. It was one of the...
Morpheus.
Yeah, maybe. It was, I don't know. It was
Is this a
Sergeant-
nerd test?
Yeah, Sergeant Morpheus. It was. I knew it was. Maybe it was Anderson. I don't know. Yeah. He changed it because he loved
true.
The Matrix. I was like, brother, you're not helping yourself out here.
Leather trench. Yeah. Okay. So Goldstein, so nice to have you on. We're so excited to have you here.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
What's
it called? Work hate?
Work
Work
hates.
hates.
It's a play on words. So
Work/hate?
no. So it's meant to be work mates, and then you cross out the M. We put H.
Right.
Yeah, we didn't think it
Work
through.
hate.
Hey, we did think it through. We thought it through heaps.
Yeah.
Did we? Love it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Stand by it.
Yeah.
Co-jerkers? You could call it that.
Why co-jerkers?
Like co-workers, but jerks.
Co-jerk. Oh, jerkers. That's good.
yeah.
That's actually
But
good.
Look,
co-jerker sounds a little different.
Yeah, it sounds like we're just
yeah,
back
that's
Yeah.
all I thought of, and I was like, I'm uncomfortable.
Oh, with co-jerkers?
I would, yeah. I'd be like,
reckon
Mom, I've got a huge new project.
Co-jerkers.
Like what?
I reckon our first episode would have the highest amount of downloads. though.
Yeah, you'd get guests more willingly. They'd be like, "Oh yeah, come on, co-jerkers." You know,
Fuck
like
yeah.
Brett's got soft hands.
I do have soft little hands. It's beautiful.
Goldstein, what is the worst job you've ever had?
Worst job.
Because you were you're a comedian now, obviously, but you were a lawyer?
I was a lawyer. I lasted 2 years.
What
And
kind of lawyer?
corporate and commercial.
That
The
is
fun one.
Yeah, the fun
so
one.
Sexy.
We were representing huge insurance companies taking down the little guy.
Oh my God.
So
Dude, I hate the little guy. Take him down.
totally.
They've had it too easy.
I've always been evil, basically, is what I'm saying.
Was that because like surely you know when doctors go through medical school and then they have to do all like their rounds or whatever.
Yeah.
They go to visit all the wards and they're like, oh, this is the one I love. Do you have to do that as a lawyer? Like go into like human rights law and be like, does this tickle my fancy?
It's like, which
No.
person do you like to dack? The homeless person, the middle class person, the
Where are
poor
my ethics?
person.
So
Do
there's
I
like
have any?
a litmus test of how shitty of a person you
Correct.
are.
Yeah.
So that's what you're saying. Yeah.
Yes.
No, I think you go into maybe pro bono work if you really want to use it to help people, do legal aid.
Yeah.
But if you really want the money, you represent huge companies and you take
And you wanted
down
the money.
the little guy.
That's what you did?
Why else would you do it?
Yeah.
to help the little people?
No.
I don't know.
I'd like
no
to
money
say I'd
in
help
it.
the little guy, but I'm like, man, I'd take the cash. I'd work for a big cigarette company, big pharma. Yeah,
Oh,
get me in there.
Yeah,
Because I already know, like, I imagine working with people who were after the money. They would just be the worst people.
Yeah, terrible
So
people.
would that be, being a corporate lawyer, your worst job?
Yeah, not the worst job. I mean,
Wow.
definitely like in high school. I mean, there's shittier jobs. We all do terrible jobs like as teenagers and stuff,
Yeah.
right? I work for a dry cleaning business in Kansas, and it was in a shittier part of town. It was just like the only place that would hire a 15-year-old that hadn't hit puberty yet.
Why? How didn't you? Were you very short?
No, late bloomer. Yeah, I was that,
Oh, that's very sweet.
Yeah, I had the high-pitched voice. It was, and, I could only grow the mustache like last year, so that's why I did it.
That's what you. This is not. Yeah, this is you showing off.
This is.
Finally, hey boys, take back all the bullying from when I was 15.
Exactly.
Look at me now.
That's what it is.
Constable care.
Constable
Yeah.
care.
So, I mean, worst job, maybe that, because I remember showing up, even as a 15-year-old, very hungover because degenerate piece of shit.
Yeah.
And someone turning up with a garbage bag full of their dirty clothes and just putting it on the counter. And then we take their details and they leave. And when we unraveled all the clothes from the garbage bag filled with maggots.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh fuck! Like there
Randy
was something.
Blake, what were you doing in Kansas?
Yeah.
That is mental.
I was getting rid of my maggots. What else do you think I
Yeah,
was
it's
doing?
extra to clean the maggots.
Yeah.
But,
That is.
It was
Yeah.
weird getting a
Close
long
it
haul
down.
flight with them, but I'm committed. You know.
What do you
Yeah.
have to do? Do you have to?
I think I just handed it over to a superior, and I might have quit on the spot. I can't even really remember.
Was there
but,
something dead in there, or it just had maggots in there?
It was like in like soiled, disgusting. Maybe there was some food in there at one point or whatever, but they just turned up and they were like, "You
Yeah,
deal
but
with
to a
it."
dry cleaning place as well. Like,
Yeah.
not even a laundromat. Like,
Yeah.
they really liked those clothes.
Yeah, and they wanted.
They
them-
had enough money for a dry cleaner,
Yeah.
but not enough money to keep the maggots away. I love this person.
But I always think of dry cleaning and stuff like that. It makes you think of every time I see someone who works in the hotel industry and they're
Yeah.
stripping up a bed
Yeah.
with bare hands. You're like, dude, that's full of cum and juice. Like
Yeah.
I would be wearing gloves. I'd be wearing like a hazmat.
So
This-
you're revealing a lot about yourself that
At
you
hotels.
leave cum and juice. Did you
Juice?
say?
What, like
juice.
apple
You're like,
juice?
oh no, like ladies' juice. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh,
you know, that's when you have a good time. You know,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you always have fun in a hotel room.
Yeah.
I just think it's like everyone roots in
So
a
as
hotel
a brag,
room.
you're saying you're making the ladies juice.
No, I'm whacking off and I'm spilling OJ.
You're not out there juicing the ladies.
No. I like to have a whack off, but I like to have a high amount of vitamin C going through my body at all times.
That's good, man. Yeah.
Well, I
you
tried
know.
to brag, it didn't work out. I wank a lot. There you go. You've got me here. You've turned me on my own podcast. It's videoed in 4K. I'm
Yeah.
fucked now.
So,
But everyone's has sex at the hotel. You're like, fuck. You're like,
oh yeah. You treat it like shit because you can, because you're not at home. It's it's a new environment, and so you wreck the place.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah.
so that's what you're saying. And so this person, knowing that they were going to treat their clothes like shit, were like, "This is fine. That's his job."
Yeah.
Not my fucking
Does he mean?
problem. It's
But
his
like
job.
okay,
I
great.
guess
Great.
the source of the maggots remains a mystery, right? And
I'm
wildly.
not concerned with that.
Yeah.
I am mostly concerned that you had to, like, that he was he would have looked in and been like, yeah, heaps of maggots.
Yeah, and then I mean the trash bag should have been
Yeah.
the indicator, that
I just
it-
would have put it straight in the fucking bin and gone.
Yeah, well-
"Not my
incinerator.
problem, cunt." Yeah.
Done with it. Yeah, I don't think I'd quit soon thereafter, if not that day.
How much an hour?
Oh, dude, minimum wage in America at the time, maybe
30 cents.
30 cents tops. Really, really making the ladies juice.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, they were on 15 cents.
They
so-
were, yeah.
Yeah, they're on less.
As it should be. No. And then jobs at like pizza places, Little Caesars Pizza, Overland Park. Shout out.
Yes, huge shout out.
Yeah.
I
Everyone
applied
knows.
for
Someone would bring
Domino's
them
and
out.
I got rejected by
Did you?
Domino's. You know how
How?
sad that is?
What's
It's like,
on your CV that's so bad?
Man, have you seen me spell?
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My
Get someone
CV
else to
only
do it.
recently said, and I had to look at it. Someone's like, oh, yeah, good one. That's
You're-
funny. It says I'm born in 1887.
Your,
Date of birth.
your dyslexia, your CV says VC at the top.
Yeah. Also, and then I did a joke about my show. I don't have my phone number on there, and I spelt my email wrong.
Right.
So it's like they can't even
No wonder.
they couldn't even contact me if they
Domino's
tried.
is desperate to have you.
Yeah.
They're like, we just want Brett Blake.
Well,
Yeah.
the guy who my first job I got in Melbourne was at, and that's the job I shat myself on my first shift. Have I shared that with you?
Oh, this seems right in co-jerkers territory.
Yeah, this is the jerk off. So I was handing out my resume when I first moved to Melbourne to all these bars with all the wrong information on it, and no one could contact me because I think I wrote Hotmail wrong or whatever.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. I look like a fucking
How
idiot.
did you spell Hotmail? I would
spelled it-
love it if it's H-O-T.
It's exactly how you think it is. And I just didn't want to,
M-A-L-E?
I didn't want to, yeah. It's I wrote it as Hotmail and yeah.
.com?
Yeah, .com. I'm not a fucking idiot.
.cum? Hell
.cum, yeah. But then, and I had my cover letter said, I've still got it. It says beer, helping white guys dance since 1887. I was like, you know, he's funny.
That's fun.
Great.
Get him in there.
Yeah,
No one responded to any of my applications. One was a seafood shop that was selling seafood specifically, and I was a diver for seafood for like 2 years. I was overqualified.
Yeah.
Not even they responded. But this guy called Andy, who's still a good mate of mine now, read it in front of me, laughed, said, good one. And
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. But yeah, whatever. And he goes, oh, look, we got a keg shift tomorrow, 6 a.m.
Yeah.
Can you be here at 6 a.m.? I said, yep, never been late. I'll be here. I'll be here at 5:45 on the dot,
Yeah.
ready to go. But because I just moved to Melbourne, I'm a young bloke, I decided to celebrate. And
Celebrate getting a job
yes.
the day before going to job. Yeah, this is great. I can't see where
So I
this could go
bought
wrong,
4 litres of Cooler Bar white wine.
Yes, you did.
yeah. And I was at the
This
time.
is in a bag.
Yeah, in a
Okay.
bag.
All right, that's good.
Absolutely.
But I lived in this apartment in Fitzroy. My girlfriend was a month away from coming at the time. So I
Juicy.
Sorry.
I think it's-
Juicy.
yeah.
So yeah. We refer to her as an actual name, Juicy. Juicy was a month away.
Juicy Lucy was
Juicy
there.
Lucy was a month
Yeah.
away. And so I had a microwave and an inflatable mattress on this floor. It was the saddest existence. But I had
Yeah.
like a shitty phone. My phone had fucked up. It was like a Nokia 3210. Had one alarm. I got so excited that I got a job. So I reckon I had a good nudge at this Cooler Bar wine.
Good
and
bag,
then,
yeah.
Sorry, I had to burp there. But then woke up at 8:30 going, fuck, I'm 2 hours late for my first shift. Ran down there, just was like, hey, man, I'm so sorry. He's like, look, dude, it's your first shift. This is a bad impression. So, like, let's just call it as is. And I said, look, you said the shift is 6 till 10. It's 8:30. And just as a way to say sorry, I'll work out the rest of the 2.5 hours just because I feel embarrassed for not rocking up. And he's like, man, that's so fucking nice. But you don't have to do that. But I was like, no, I'll do it. And
Were
he goes,
you hoping that he would be like, you can still have the job?
exactly.
Right.
I thought I'd have 2.5 hours of charming him.
Yeah.
I'm a hard worker. He's made one mistake. We'll move past it.
Sure.
Right? And he goes,
Mistake.
we're moving the tables. And I said, great, I'll give you a hand moving the tables. Picked up the table. And I was like, I've got a little fart in the system.
Yeah.
And there was a bit more behind it than I realised.
Yeah. Cool about
And
dude.
it was Cooler Bar.
I've met her. She's
And just shat my pants so hard.
Oof.
Like nothing solid.
Yeah.
Put the table down. He's like, what are you doing? And I said, I've got to go to the bathroom. He's like, man, we need to move this furniture. Like, you're already 2.5 hours late. I was like, I've got to go to the bathroom. I ran up there. I ditched the jocks. I'm cleaning myself up. I was like, oh, fuck, this is the most embarrassing day of my life.
Yeah.
And then I come down and I'm like, I've just got to, like, this guy's angry. And he's talking to the other barman, like, who's a fucking idiot rocking up to fucking, And I just went down there and said, guys, I shat myself. And they just both pissed themselves laughing. And he goes, you know what? You're fucking hired. And I went, yeah, he hired me on the spot. Yeah. And because he couldn't stop laughing. He goes, I thought your resume was the funniest thing. And I was like, what's wrong with my resume? I still didn't get it. And he had to show me. He's like, since you're born in 1887, you're a fucking idiot. I was like, oh, yeah, I'm a jokester. I'm always shitting myself. Yeah.
Was that your gateway to comedy?
Yeah.
Your resume?
Yeah, through the resume.
Oh, I
Without
thought that
even
if
knowing.
every job after that, you just show up and shit yourself immediately because you're like, this is how I'm in. This is how I get
This
it.
is how I get in.
You show up to a Fortune 500, you just fucking power move, shit yourself.
That is actually a power move. Hey, guys, you're in a
It
meeting?
is, it is.
Did anyone else here shit themselves? No.
No. So, but I mean, I guess not worst job, but probably the longest job I ever held, even more than lawyer, because lawyer was like 2 years, 2.5 years. I worked in a bar.
Yeah, you go.
Not unlike this one in this
I can't imagine you with a
haunted
bike.
castle.
Bike with, little fixed gear bicycle on top.
Oh, yeah.
This is not your vibe. I feel like yours is
No.
more like Boston lager and basketball. In the
Not
background.
even. This was bartending weddings in Perth for 4+ years. Yeah.
That is
Dude, weddings at Perth. You would have been sexually
Coolabah
assaulted a lot.
Central.
Yeah, I saw the full gamut of like brawls between both sides of the families.
That's always a good one.
The bride being so paralytic drunk, she has to get carried out like by 9
shit her
p.m.
pants?
Well,
Not
probably,
charming.
you know.
Not charming enough.
Yeah, weddings
Because if
in
she
Perth.
did, she would have got a job at the Imperial.
Weddings in Perth, really, I think one of the vows is till meth do us part, right? They make sure.
Very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
And then the insanity, I mean, in terms of me being a shitty person, because I wouldn't cut people off, I would be like, let's see how far this can spiral. Even,
I want to, you've given me the fuse. I'm just lighting it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah. And we had the father of the bride come up to the bar and he said, my wife can't handle her booze. She's already way beyond drunk. Just cut her off. If she comes up to the bar, just don't serve her.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, it's not my place to do that.
Well, I was like, sure, whatever you say. And then this,
You're such a fucking evil cunt.
she waddles up to the bar. This, she's like mid 60s, and she's got that red wine mouth. Like purple.
I've seen Brady Blake with that loads of times.
Man, I love the red wine. No one tells me, you know?
Yeah. The full like grimace McDonald's
And the
character
teeth are
going.
all fucked up and shit.
Purple and black.
Yeah, purple and black. It's quite the color spectrum usually.
it's beautiful.
Yeah, because there's usually somehow lipstick on the teeth, but then
lipstick on
around
the
it
teeth,
is
the purple, the white, and then the tongue goes like a goanna's tongue.
Yeah, it's like
blue.
Green a
or
bit?
like or white or like so white. 'cause it's-
Dehydrated.
It's so dried out.
And maggots. Anyway.
Yeah.
Obviously.
And she comes up to the bar, and then I know this is, the mother of the bride. I've seen where she's been sitting. She's the one I've been asked to cut off, but I'm like, how about you have your own bottle of red?
What?
Hey, you're an adult. You can monitor yourself. I'm not making any decisions for you.
Yeah. And
Did you tell people, by the way, like, boys, check this out?
yeah, totally, man. Everyone else on the staff, I was like, watch this. This is something's
God.
gonna happen
God,
here.
you're a fucking evil fuck. I love it.
And I was not disappointed at all. Like the speeches had already happened, and then but she wasn't speaking or anything, and everyone she couldn't speak at all. No, she was like that, like punch drunk.
She was be feeling horrible. I hope she never hears this.
Whoa.
does.
If it gets back to her, amazing. She then, speeches are done. Everyone kind of goes back to their seats, and then, it's going to, whatever, the bridal waltz will happen, whatever the process is. And she decides she wants to speak at this point.
Oh, she's going to get up and riff.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I
Now's
like
the
this.
time.
Yeah.
Now's the time.
So we hear
Don't prep.
the classic, she picks up a bit of cutlery and starts like tinking her glass with it. And like, everyone's like, what? And I'm like,
A
oh.
whole bottle of red.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's empty already. It's not even 10 minutes.
Oh, she drained that thing. Dude.
Oh.
Yeah.
She drained it like me in a hotel room by myself with OJ.
So, of course, everyone stops and looks over, and somehow she like is able to stand up, but is just like bobbing and weaving, right? And then goes to speak, and projectile red wine vomits all over the table in front of her.
God.
It was one of the most heinous but amazing things I've ever seen in my life. The fact that she got everyone's attention
Do that.
to do
Maybe
it.
that was her plan.
Yeah, but
Just
I think
you
it
know
all
what?
just hit her. She stood up, and then, the
Oxygen
adrenaline-
hit the body. Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh.
And then just this geyser of red wine.
Did it
and
hit people?
It was like just fucking like The Exorcist, when they're trying to like get the demon out of the little girl, right? It's just like, it's like a sprinkler system, like
No.
all over the table in front of her. And then she just falls back in her seat, like slumps over and passes
Oh
out.
my god! Because like booze vomit,
Yeah.
it doesn't trickle out.
No,
it's
no.
not like
You feel wet in the back of your gums,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
it just all happens.
Oh, yeah.
It is. It's a shot. It shoots out.
Yeah.
I've heard. And then so this is this
Never
poor
done it
woman-
yourself, though. No. Classy
I'm a mother.
lady, yeah.
I would never. Like,
Yeah.
I was born a mother. But they so this it would have hit people.
It would have hit people.
would have been
I think people were
wiping it off
ducking
their
for
lips.
cover at the table. It was like an active shooter was in the building, right?
just pushing. You really get to see some characters. There's some people are pushing kids in front of her.
Yeah, human
women
shields.
and children. Yeah, fuck them. You know.
Yeah. So
equal rights.
The moment of silence after she slumps in her chair, like everyone's trying to process this horror that was just unveiled, right?
Yeah.
And then I'm behind the bar, and I just like start a slow clap.
You were her biggest bully. She has no idea how much you ruined her life.
Did it kick off?
No. Like one of my other coworkers like grabbed my arm and like, what the fuck are you doing? And then then just like chaos breaks out, and everyone's like trying to get it and clean her up.
I've just done this, and I'm going to enjoy this moment.
Because that applause was for yourself as well.
Just,
you piece of shit. I'm amazing. I did that.
Is there no personal responsibility anymore? You know, I didn't pour it in her face.
And this was after you were a lawyer.
No, this is before.
It was before. So you already were evil.
Already.
And you were like, what's the next step? I'll just be a lawyer for a corporation.
Did you do the power? I love when you see the power chuck that knocks people down.
It was, this voluminous force coming out of her body. Like it would look like more than she could contain almost. like she,
from her legs?
Yeah, exactly. It was coming from her legs, and she was like deflating slowly. And then
she just withered away like a balloon and just sailed off.
Yeah, exactly. And then slumped into the chair, passed out. And then
she didn't even finish the speech. I want to know. I reckon we should give her a second chance.
Man, to this day, the best speech I've ever seen in my life. Who could top that?
I mean, it's memorable.
Did you see her husband?
Yeah.
Did you see what he was
after
doing?
that? Well, I think after that, it was just damage control. I remember vividly that when they cleaned up, they got everything off the table because most of it, like the
hit the table.
Center of the table was, and then they, flowers, everything, everything was just caked in this woman's insides. And then, one of the girls who worked the floor like had to gather up the tablecloth, and I remember seeing her pick it up, and it was like a bag of maggots, right? It was like
you're like, thanks, fuck, I'm not working at that dry cleaner anymore. Exactly. I cannot handle
because
this.
It all pooled, and she was able to and it was one of them
dripping out the bottom.
It was starting to seep.
No.
Yeah.
But the venue you worked at, was it classy?
So classy, dude. But this is Perth.
So, but I worked at a shit place, and people, I couldn't believe, they go, the Backspace, the High Road Hotel, Riverton. It doesn't exist anymore. They used to have skimpies on a Wednesday. It was a workers' man bar. Like I was glassed twice while working there.
Yeah.
Someone also did a shit in a pint glass and would just do it every Friday just to piss me off.
Nice.
Rough as
in Perth.
In Perth.
Where
what
would
are the
they
odds?
leave the pint glass?
In the toilet. They're not animals.
I wouldn't bring it back out.
No. That's an alpha move. I would actually respect that. If you shit in the pint glass, then hand it to me. I was the dish pig as well, so I was like...
You had to deal with it. They didn't...
Oh, man, I said to him, I was thrown out, and the boss is like, dude, it's still a good glass. I was like, man, I am not dumping that and putting it through a...
I don't know how many episodes you've done of this yet, but I'm willing to bet it's your most shit, cum, vomit.
You're wrong.
Yeah.
You're wrong. You're actually wrong. Yeah.
Last episode was someone talked about shitting. Someone shitting their
Ah,
pants.
okay. Yeah.
So it was like, I guess it's a condition.
Yeah, but shitting's funny though.
But spewing,
it's
funny. Pretty funny.
Spewing's real funny.
But the venue I used to work at was so rough, and people used to give away the space for free if you're having a wedding.
Sounds nice.
And the weddings, like, you can imagine what the people were like.
What's the venue?
High Road Hotel.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. It's a big. It's now Coles. They knocked it down.
Yeah.
Why?
Can't imagine why. It was fucking awful. But like they'd hire this space, and then there'd just be the roughest people. But there was always a fight between the two rival families.
Yeah.
One night they were just throwing Jack Daniels bottles at each other, and we had to call security. And this is at a fucking wedding.
Yeah.
And you're like, this is some low breed shit.
Because someone shat in someone's beer.
Yeah, exactly.
It was the bride.
Well, I mean,
it's her special day. You get one of them.
The venue I worked at was like a fine dining restaurant with a function space upstairs.
Like Fraser's or something?
Matilda Bay restaurant.
Oh, that's fucking classy as shit.
But because it's Perth, as you know, cashed up bogans, whatever you want to call them, so much money.
So much money.
Yeah. And so they would hire out this venue and have their weddings there, and then
they would not be drinking wine and shit. They just be like, it'd be Jack's and fucking Jack's by the bottle. And shit.
Yeah, man.
Fuck, we used to, man, even back in the day, 20 years ago, we used to sell Jack Daniels in a bottle, pre-mixed, for $14 at the bar, and then we'd move like 1,000 of them every Friday.
Yeah.
It's like, who's got this money?
Oh, people in
Perth.
Yeah.
People in Perth.
Yeah.
But this poor woman, let me just think about this poor woman for a sec. So she is the mother of the bride.
Yeah.
Paid for at least half that wedding.
Yeah. At least.
So then she can spew.
Yeah.
She can.
Who am
Her
I
night
to
too.
refuse her service?
Yeah.
She paid for that bottle.
I wonder where she...
And
If
would you
you
say
are
that
out there, please let us know you're okay.
if she's drinking like that, she has not
She's
lived
not-
past 65.
No.
She died 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Her husband was a psycho gatekeeper who was like, "Don't give her wine."
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, was that a kindness?
I know. And I'm not there to...
Sometimes I wish I could cut off my partner as well. It's like, "Ugh, I think she's had enough. You know, when she starts getting those horny eyes, you're like, oh, drunk horny
Jesus.
eyes.
Oh.
You got to watch out.
Nah, not
Watch out those
familiar.
hotel sheets.
Mike, have you ever quit any of these jobs? Because you've obviously, I would fire you from that job if I were your boss.
Because
you ruined a
RSI?
lady's life.
I would
Yeah.
promote you.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty sick. That'd be a high five. That'd be like, champ,
But
it's a
why?
fancy restaurant, have a lobster on the house.
If I went to my kid's wedding
Yeah.
and I got so maggot and someone helped me get that maggot and then I spewed
Yeah,
in
but
front
you-
of everyone.
I'm still saying everyone's a fucking adult.
Yeah.
You make your own decisions.
Well, she could. Okay, so Mike made some decisions that night.
Of course, for my own entertainment,
And,
right?
And honestly,
It paid
what
off.
else?
Why am I
is there?
babysitting? I know there's responsible service of alcohol,
like a
but
law.
Yeah, there's all laws about it. You're a lawyer. You should know this. At the time, he wasn't a lawyer, so that's his defense.
Yeah,
I didn't know.
and then he went into it. Did you learn that along the way?
I did along the way, yeah.
Like,
and then I was
what?
like,
that
oh,
is
shit.
the wrong thing. Still, you don't think it was the wrong thing?
Nah. I mean, I'm not there to babysit, right? I just want
Just there
to.
for a good time. I'm merely controlling all this alcoholic substance. Who am I? to
I'm just
decide?
making the party more memorable. And I guarantee you, to this day,
Yes.
everyone there, that is a core memory now.
Absolutely.
Hey, look,
It
it's given
is.
us 20 minutes of our podcast, so I don't hate it.
Yeah.
And red wine vomit is disgusting. I had someone come over to my house. This is years ago. She was like, she just had a baby, and it was like, I think it was her first time drinking since having this baby. And then they stayed, her and her partner and the baby stayed over. And then in the morning, she came out and she said to me, like, I already started like cleaning the kitchen. She came out and she said, "I'm really sorry." And I was like, "Oh, that's okay." I couldn't work out what she was sorry for. I thought maybe she thought she got too drunk. I was like, "It's fine. We all get drunk. It's fine. Don't worry about it." And she was like, "No." She was like, "Oh, cool," because I'm just like, I just didn't know where to do it. And I was like,
Oh, no.
"That's cool." I still didn't know what was going on, but because she looked really remorseful, and I wanted to make her feel better because I'm an absolute saint. So I was like, "It's fine, babe. Who cares? Don't worry about it."
Yeah.
Anyway, they left. I went to the sink, which was like full of, like chopping boards and plates and stuff. And as I was like taking stuff off, I was like, why is this red wine curdled? She just spewed in
See,
our sink full of things that I had to like wash.
I didn't
Like,
have
my
a problem
hand
with
was in
someone
it.
spewing. I have a problem with someone not cleaning it the fuck up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Why
you can.
did she just leave that for me?
Yeah,
I
you
don't
can
know.
vomit
Does a
anywhere.
sorry
Like,
cover
we all
that?
make a mistake. You can, if you do it on the floor. I mean, I know you're too maggot to sometimes, but if your friend cleans it up for you or something, it's like, it happens.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or come get a steam cleaner over.
Yeah.
Not to clean it. That's a dog.
That's
act.
wild.
So
Yeah.
have you ever been fired?
Yeah. So the first firm that I worked for,
Yes.
big international firm, like I said, representing insurance companies, a lot of the mine sites and stuff. So yeah,
just the good people.
Just the good people.
Yes.
And I was a junior practitioner, like maybe a year out of law school.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a place that helped me become a citizen of Australia, right? Like helped me through the permanent residency
What an
process.
asset.
What an asset, right? Yep. And they were real good to me, and then hired me out of law school, but then they were laying off all their junior practitioners because of budget cut, whatever the fuck, nationwide, right? And they started in Sydney, like laying off people, and then I was friends with a guy in the Sydney office, and he goes, "Hey, they're making all the juniors redundant."
Oh, God,
so
you saw it coming.
yeah, he goes, "So
Ugh.
take all your sick leave right now." He was like, "Tell them you're sick, don't come in for 2 weeks, and just make them pay all that out, and then you're gonna come in and they're gonna fire you."
Fire you anyway.
Anyways.
Steal the stapler.
Yeah.
Fucking dude. That's why they always have someone at the office come with you. Because if someone came up to me and says, you're fired right now,
Yeah.
I'm fucking stealing a printer.
Oh yeah.
On the way out, I'm taking whatever I can get.
Oh, that's it, man.
Monitors,
like scorched
pens.
earth policy, right? Yeah.
I'm doing a shit. I ain't flushing.
Yeah.
In someone's beer? I
Well,
don't care.
yeah. He could have been fired that day. Yeah.
So that was them. Then the the team that I was working on, they were trying to get me into the office because this is pre-Zoom and all that shit. So I think they have to let you go face to face, right?
Like,
yeah, there's some policy.
That's where their ethics are. That is where they are. That is crazy.
But they're still representing a cigarette company, smoking to your face.
But just in case he needs a tissue, we want to hand it to him.
No, that's why they did it. They wanted to see him cry.
They wanted to gather your tears.
Oh, no, I cried so much.
Yeah.
Jewish man's tears.
Yeah, it's worth
Kick
a
him in the
lot.
balls on the way out, guys. Jack him.
Or maybe, so because I was sick, then I wasn't, I was exhausting all my sick leave, and so I wasn't going in. But then I was hearing from the other people at that firm, that, they're laying us all off. So you're doing the right thing by getting as much money out of them as possible, right?
Are we enjoying that time? Were you living large?
Oh, so amazing, right? Yeah.
Ruined many a hotel sheet.
Yes. Oh.
So many weddings, torturous for the old women.
And then the end of the 2 weeks or whatever was up, but they kept calling and they're like, hey, can you just come in just for one meeting? And I was like, no, I'm really very sick in this voice, not even trying to ham it up or anything.
Another park in the background.
Exactly. And so eventually I turned up and basically what I'm wearing now, some track pants and a t-shirt, knowing I wasn't going to be working that day. And they called me into a big boardroom and, the team was there and the HR lady or whatever. And they go,
wait, pause.
Yeah.
In this moment, were you like, this is where they're laying me off?
Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
I knew it.
Oh, you knew? Yeah.
I knew I was walking into that.
Because everyone was being redundant, not because you're sick bay. Okay, so continue.
Yeah. I just knew as soon as I went in, they were going to.
They would have been, in my brain, just because some times out, I'd be like, they might promote me here.
Oh, dude.
I don't know why.
Well, that was the risk. What if I show up in sweatpants and they're like, what? We were going to give you a huge raise. And,
Thank you, partner. It was going to be your day.
I know. So, but I went in and I knew it was coming and they, they said we have mass redundancies across the firm nationally and internationally. So we have to let you go. But I think you knew that already. And I was like, oh, I absolutely did. And then they all started laughing and I was laughing.
They loved it though. Because they're evil as well. They get it. They got one over us.
They get it.
Kissing in each other's pockets. You're like, we're all bad guys.
Yeah.
You've got a tan, you got your shades on, you still got a pina colada.
Amazing.
Like, I fucked you too. Whatever.
And then I stood up and projectile red wine vomited all over their table. Yeah. No. So, I mean, that was, and then I tried to just subsist off comedy for, I think, 2 years after that before I went back to another firm.
Sorry.
No, that's all right. Yeah. And then I lasted 2 years at that firm, something like that. A year and a half. Whatever.
I can't imagine you in the corporate environment.
I look bad in a suit. I look like my parents dressed me up for my bar mitzvah. It's no good.
You look like you were ready for book week.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Did you, but in the time, did they work you like a dog? Like they imagine they would work. Like movies always make the plebs work so hard.
One of the worst things about being a lawyer is the billable hours. You have to account for your time in every 6-minute increments, right?
No.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
So you've got to say, hey, I was doing this
for this 6 minutes, I was doing that because then that's billed out to the client and it goes up to the partner and they justify your work or not, whether they get charged out. And
so you can't do a 15-minute shit.
No. Well, see, one of the receptionists, because I would go...
I did one 15-minute shit day.
Yeah. But then one of the receptionists started timing my time in the bathroom.
Didn't.
Yeah.
No, she didn't.
Yeah. Because she was like, you're spending, and I was just looking at my phone. And
of course. You're entitled to your moment.
Yeah. But because every, increment of time needs to be accounted for. And
how did you know that she was counting?
She told me.
Seconds?
Yeah.
I'm timing.
She started calling me out.
Yeah. It doesn't smell like a number 2. I'm in here.
Yeah. So she was calling me out on it, in kind of a jokingly way at first, but then when every time you go to the bathroom that you're being timed, it puts some pressure on you in there.
I couldn't shit under pressure.
No, I couldn't perform. I was all backed up.
You did some cooler bar.
Fruity Lexia.
Fruity Lexia, lifted table, see what happens.
Oh, yeah.
And so did you quit that job willingly?
That one, no. I went back to the States for a while, and then I was like, when I come back to Australia, I'm just going to do comedy full time and see what happens. And then, haven't had a job since.
Okay, so you did quit that one though.
Yeah.
So you've been fired.
I've been fired. I've definitely been fired, but like that was like the pizza place in Kansas City.
But those places when you're a kid, they don't fucking
yeah.
count. If someone fires you when you're 15, you're like, yeah, I threw all the stuff in the bin.
One guy got fired, and this is another bodily fluid story.
Thank God. It's been minutes with that one.
It's good to be here.
I don't even think so,
Yeah,
actually.
actually 2.5 minutes. We hadn't had a shit story.
Your
So.
shit.
Yeah.
The lady was timing it. You didn't describe it though, so it doesn't count.
Well, I said I was backed up, because of the pressure.
true.
So there wasn't
This
a
is
shit.
true. Oh my gosh, yes.
A guy got fired from the pizza place, and when he got fired, he said, we had all these pre-prepared vats of sauce, right?
Oh, no.
And he said, I pissed in one of the sauce tubs, and of course he wouldn't tell us which one, so we had to shut the shop down for like 3 days. And I was like,
chuck out all the sauce.
yeah.
See, I don't mind a smoke bomb on the way out, so I'm a fan of it.
Yeah,
I'm a fan
and
of
maybe
it.
he didn't piss in the sauce, right? Like, who knows? Maybe
But
he just made
you
it
can't
up.
roll that
That's
dice.
pretty amazing.
No, you can't.
You cannot roll that
And
dice.
he would not tell you.
No.
Fuck. But was it a big franchise pizza place? Or
Yeah.
was it, if it's a franchise, I don't give a
That's
fuck
fine.
about.
Yeah.
If it's like a mum and pop thing, you're like, don't do that.
No.
Yeah.
Respect the mom and pop. Yeah.
Is that your lower
Let
back tattoo?
That's my tramp
Don't
stamp.
piss in the mom and pop pizza place. Sauce.
Sauce. Or do it, but let him know which batch.
Yeah.
And have you ever, like, who's the worst boss you've ever had? And if you could go back in time, and have that moment where you quit or were fired and say one last thing to them without them having a response, the privilege and the glory of just saying something and then leaving, like they do in the movies, and them just like,
You can't fire me because I quit moment.
What would you say and to whom?
I don't know if like I've outside of being made redundant from the firm, if like all my firings have been you're just dropped off the roster, right? Like
or your hours go down.
Yeah.
That one's always.
Really
you call up and you're like, "What are my hours this week?" And they're like,
Not this week.
"No hours."
Cowards.
Yeah.
But also, you've already done the biggest fuck you because you're like, you've rocked up in sweats and you've had 2 weeks sick leave. They're like, and then they've gone, we know what you did here and well paid. And you're like, fuck you. Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Well, for example, I had this, like when I lived in Ireland, I worked in this horrible job. Like I thought I moved to Ireland and I thought it was going to be amazing. I thought I was going to meet this really like rugged, handsome, lovely man who, sang to me. Anyway.
Yeah, the Irish. They got the greatest voice in the
Colin
world.
Farrell. You were going to meet Colin Farrell?
I was like, this is going to be amazing.
Yeah, but you'd meet Will Ferrell. That's who you'd meet.
I was 19, but all of the men there just look like greyhounds. Horrible with fringes. Dreadful. And I
they're
didn't
all
like
malnourished.
Yeah. And I worked at this horrible bar, which was it was like a pub. It was like 3 stories. It was so busy all of the time. So we worked like running up and down these stairs, just giving everyone chicken goujons. Everyone's like covered in grease on their face, drinking Guinness with cordial in it. Absolute pigs.
Oh, yeah, they put that red sauce in there. It's like,
yeah.
why would you make it taste? What are you, 12?
Ribena. They put Ribena in it. Grow up. Anyway, I had I hated working there, and I got paid like €5 an hour. And there were tips. Each like Irish tip, like not heaps, like not like America, but they tip a bit. And so you'd be like, yeah, absolutely. So at the end of the shift, when you've served 50 bazillion Irish people, you're like, I'm going to clean up. Anyway, the manager, a lady named Tina, I hate you, Tina. She would collect all of the tips and then she would distribute them like how she saw fit. So she would give, like, her daughter worked there. So her daughter got heaps. Her daughter's friends would get heaps. She didn't like me much, and so I would get like either nothing at the end of the week, either nothing or like €8.
The tip thing's got to, I always think if you're going to do the collection group and then it's got to be divided equally, I think that's fair. Of course. Or you get to keep your own ones. There's no one gets to decide.
Yeah, no, Tina decided. And she was just so mean and angry. She never did any work and she would just like hate everyone and she would just like spit venom at people as they were walking past, like, hurry up! And you're like running as fast. It was horrible. One time I was walking down these stairs and I was holding like a tin teapot and the cup and saucer, and the person in front of me stopped and the tin teapot swung around and rested on my knuckle and I heard it go tss. And because I was standing behind it, because I was so scared of Tina because she was at the top of the stairs, I just had to be like shit. I was like, excuse me, Susie. And the person finally got out of my way. I put it down and it was just this bubble of blister on my knuckle, and I couldn't stop because I needed the €5 an hour to keep going. If only I could get a fucking tip. Anyway, I had at the end when I finally decided I would quit that place because it was so horrible, I went to Tina and I was like, I'm quitting. And she was like, oh, okay, well, you have to do the shifts this week.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn it. So I had to do the rest of the shifts.
See, I'm always like, fuck you. I'm out today.
Because I was like, okay, fine, I'll just do the rest of them. And maybe she will see that I'm good enough to get a tip.
Yeah.
Anyway, because I was leaving, she wasn't giving me any tips. So I went over and I collected my last pay and I was like, can I please have some tips? And she was like, you think you deserve tips? You were here for like, what, a week? I was like, I was here for 2.5 months. You've given me €8 in tips. And she just went, nah. And then I just went, you are the meanest, most horrible person I've ever met. And I've been to heaps of countries. I've got the flexes out. I've been to heaps of countries, Tina.
Yeah.
And I've never met anyone as heinous and as nasty as you.
Oof.
And then I turned around and I walked away and she probably zoned out halfway through my little rant, but I felt like all
Amazing.
the tips in the world
Yeah.
could not have paid for that experience.
And did she say anything?
No, she said nothing. She said halfway through, all right, as willing me to like
Wind
give up, but I couldn't. I was
Yeah.
on a roll. I had some
Was
venom
there
I needed
witnesses
to give her.
to the dressing down? No.
No, I also didn't want. I really wanted it to
the
be
one-on-one.
between her and
One-on-ones,
her.
actually, people go,
Nah.
I like the spectrum,
Her
but
me.
one-on-ones, like,
Yeah.
you got time to think about this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I was
But
doing
now
it for
someone
no
would
one
have filmed
else.
it and been like,
I know, I could
absolute
be famous.
Karen goes off.
Yeah.
Totally.
Australian Karen,
The poor boss, the poor
Shame's
boss lady.
little Irish lady.
Yeah.
Fucking Tina. So that was my
That's
epic
great, though.
quit.
Yeah.
And so I'll go back at that, and I'll think back at that. And
Uh-huh.
but if I didn't have that, I reckon I would have spent the rest of my life
Yeah.
being like, if only I told Tina that she was heinous.
Yeah.
Well, did you ever work with someone? It doesn't have to be a boss. Did you ever work with someone that you wish you had said to them, by the way, you were the worst person I've ever worked with?
All right. So you guys want the real Andy Lee story? No. All right. No.
Yes.
That's what you're digging for.
That's fine.
I mean, I'd have to think. Honestly, most of my bosses have been fine. I think there was one I worked at. Do you remember Steve's Bar in Perth, the massive Wednesday night pub?
Yep.
It's where the West Coast Eagles used to have their Mad Mondays. That was one of the first shifts
my
I ever
gosh.
did. Was working
The Eagles Mad Monday.
Mad Monday.
Well, you wouldn't have to serve any beers. They'd just be snorting away in the
There was a
bathroom.
lot of that. There was a lot, and it was like Ben Cousins'
Was
heyday.
it?
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Where is he now?
He's doing pretty well.
Yeah, he's landed on his feet, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's a role model.
He's back on the red carpet this week. They let him back the first time at the Brownlow red carpet after 15 years.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Things
See?
men can do and be fine.
Well, if you claim you're a victim and an addict,
Yeah.
ooh.
And I think the boss there was so laissez-faire. He didn't care what went on because he knew he was selling the entire property and turning it into apartment blocks, that he left us to our own devices. That it was probably the best job I ever had, because I would show up, like pour myself a pint of beer, go and sit down, put the TV on, and then customers would come in and I'd be like, yeah, just help yourself, just leave
No.
some. Yeah.
No.
I swear to God, dude, I swear it was the best. No, it's Perth, Steve's.
Yeah, but the beer.
Oh, the beer. Yeah,
You'd
yeah.
go,
They would serve themselves. There's like,
Beer's not easy, by the way. Like, it takes skill. You'd be like back there going, can you actually help me out? I'd rather pay for this.
oh, dude. And it was like it was the best. It was the easiest job, but we all knew it was ending soon, right? So if I could go back, and I would say to Murray, thank you for being the best. And
oh, that's beautiful.
That's beautiful. I like
Yeah.
that as an ending. Yeah. Thank you.
Also, I wonder how the lady who was the mother of the bride would go.
You're
if
very concerned for her welfare.
No, I wonder.
Man, she's
if
dead,
you'd
dude.
said,
She
"Help
is so
yourself."
dead.
I wonder what she would do if her husband wasn't there. And at just like a given Sunday afternoon brunch, like lunch,
Yeah.
she would be like, just get in there.
yeah.
Margot, you can have
She was a
whatever you
Margot.
want. She was.
Yeah.
And she was, I wonder what she would do.
Oh, she would probably not be responsible at all.
Can't imagine that.
That's what I thought I understood. Margot.
Yeah.
But guys, that's been another episode of Work Hates Pod. Thank you very much for joining us. Give it up for Mike Goldstein. Thank you very much for coming. You got any things you'd like to plug coming up?
No, just I'll be working weddings soon, I'm sure.
Oh, good, because I've got a couple coming up, and I don't like to be cut off, so I know who to see. And I don't mind making a fuckhead out of myself.
Just comedy Mike Goldstein on socials. And
Great, get around that. And he's also got a great podcast called Phone Hacks.
Yeah, who knows where we're at with that.
It's so good.
It's so good.
It might be still going.
Who knows?
It is still going.
It's 50-50. I know your co-host. I work with him as well.
Yeah.
Everything's 50-50. Guys, until next time, enjoy it. See you soon. I've been fired from a lot of places. I've been fired from so many places.
I went into the class one day, real bullets. Kill me.